TRW playing Royalist and Roundheads 2. Royalist and Roundheads 2, Battle of Alford, July 2nd, 1645. I need this open for the victory tables. I really like that mechanic still. I might have mentioned that before, maybe I didn't. Can't remember. But using Royalist and Roundheads 3 rules, because I still go off the assumption that they are the most developed for the Royalist and Roundheads trilogy. I am comfortable. I am comfortable with with two things actually. So what I'm comfortable with, two things. When a unit routes, route markers placed on it, and it is moved 1, 2, or 3 hexes away, according to the priorities. There are restrictions. So when a unit routes, it's marked routed, and it retreats 1 to 3 hexes according to certain restrictions. And then later in the rally phase, if it fails, recovery phase, rally phase. In the recovery phase, if it fails to rally during the recovery phase, it then retreats 3 hexes. And presumably it'll keep doing that. And in this game, I say this game versus maybe some of the others in the Royalist and Roundheads family of games, in this one, it sure seems to me that if it's sitting during the recovery phase and it's not eligible to try to rally, then it just sits there. Yeah, during the rally phase. Although it can move 2 hexes away from the enemy during its movement phase. And again, in this, I keep saying again because there are slight variations in different games in the family. In this one, it's very clear. Routed combat units follow no commands. That makes sense. Instead, they may be moved up to 2 hexes away from the closest enemy combat unit during the movement phase. That's what I'm going with there. The other... Oh no, those were the two things. The 2 movements, I think. Anyways. Alright, so... I'm going to continue on. Oh, I know what. At this point, I'm going to... it's the start of the 1430 hours turn, which in game terms is game turn 6 of 10. So we're on the back side of the battle. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to I'm going to play through this turn quickly. Basically, I'm getting up to some more action. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to move quickly through the turn. Don't know how much commentary I'll have. I will say one thing though. So it is the Royalist. I still can't say Royal. It is the Royalist. The Royalist player is the first player per this scenario. My little reminder there. And it is their... no, actually I have to do the orders phase first. Alright. So I'll do the turn. But what I was going to say is at this point... I was thinking about the battle between play sessions, and I'm going to go ahead and assess, playing myself here, I'm going to assess that Montrose with the Royalist army, I'm going to assess that Montrose is going to think that his flanks are at a slight disadvantage compared to the Covenanters on the flanks, and so see there's a standoff in the center. Montrose and his Royalist center of infantry and musketeers, they want to stay on the crest for the defense to defend. But if the Covenanters if they're going to prevail on the flanks, then why are they going to move necessarily? So basically I'm thinking, since I'm having Montrose assess that his flanks are at a slight disadvantage and the Covenanter center is not coming up to engage, he is going to push forward and try to engage with his center at this point. Okay. So now orders change real quick. Well, it's the orders phase. I'm going to check, which is also my chance to double check everything on the Royalist side. This is a joint phase, so both players can be doing this at the same time. Aboyne has an attack order. That's good. I want him to continue attacking. Of course, Montrose and MacDonald, he wants to change theirs to advance, maybe even attack. What would be the difference? You know, the time is running out, actually. So he's going to want to change both of theirs to attack. So I'm going to set those by the commander. So that's for MacDonald, and that's for Napier, who's underneath Montrose. Montrose is with Napier. And then over here, I think Gordon he's attacking, and I want him to continue attacking. On the Covenanter side, see Hackett wants to change to attack because he wants to get those bonuses, I think. So he wants to try to attack, and Balakaris definitely wants to try to change to attack. He's been trying several turns now. Can't remember how many turns, but for more than one turn, he's been trying to change his. In the center, they'll keep a stand and a stand. That's good for defense. And they can still move one hex. So there we go. So now we go through and do the change. It doesn't matter the order. I guess I'll just go this way, but it doesn't matter. Aboyne is good. Hackett is not within the range of his overall leader for the adjustment. So it's just his 3. That's his command rating there. If he rolls, he gets it 3 or less, and he can change his order, or he changes his order, I should say. So I'm taking, he's switching from advance to attack. Consider that to be kind of on his own initiative, even though the game doesn't talk about it in those terms. Now, Napier is stacked with Montrose. I do need to double check. Does that mean that that's automatic? That change is automatic? A leader stacked with an overall leader during the command phase may automatically change his command. That's what I thought. So Montrose is with Napier, and so he directly has Napier change his order to attack. So now Napier's infantry is going to move out. Now here, MacDonald is within the command span 5 of Montrose, the army leader, so I think I subtract 1. If the leader is within the command span of an overall leader, he has a -1 die roll modifier. That's what I thought. So he is going to subtract 1 here. He rolls 2 minus 1 is 1, which is equal to or less than his command value of 2, right there. So he changes his order as well. So we've had a lot of orders changes now, all in one turn. I guess we have one more. Balakaris is not within the command span of Bailey here, so he's just on his own with his command value of 2. Oh, he fails again. Rolls a 4. So he does not change his. The biggest piece there is he's not getting the +1 for an attack order in combat in melee. Okay, that is the orders phase. Now we go to the first player movement phase. Now we have some changes. So we'll just go left to right though. Aboyne again has an attack, so these guys need to they have to move. I mean they have to close they have to close with the enemy basically. So so let's see. Yeah, so they're going to go. So these infantry have 3 movement points, movement allowance. So they're going to go 1, 2, and then 3. They have these enemy in their front, but they have these ones in their flank. But that's okay because Aboyne has his cavalry here. Okay, now, man, these independent units are a bit of a pain rules-wise. They move independently. They don't follow command chits. I know that. They may not enter enemy zone of control unless that's a skirmish unit, which is very misleading because skirmish units don't have Zocs. So can't they just move away? But actually, if they stay, they do get a +1. They don't have to retreat, and they will get a +1 on their fire. You know, they'll stay. They'll stay because these guys moved up. They don't have facing. Yeah, I'll leave them like that. They don't have facing though. Okay, over here, they're moving out. Now I'll figure out: is there a cost for going down a level? No, there's not. Well, there is for artillery, which makes sense. But only artillery pays 1 to go down, so they don't need to worry about that. So they're moving out. It's all infantry here. They have 3 movement points. Yeah, so they're moving out towards the center there. Now the question is, and this is interesting, do they have to go... I don't think they have to go towards the nearest enemy. They just need to... How's it worded? They have to move at least half their movement allowance round fractions up and must end their movement closer to enemy units than they began. So it doesn't say anything about closest or closer or anything. So they can move up the center here because they will be closer to the enemy, right? Because right now they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they'll go 1, 2, 3. Now they're closer than 7. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, that should generally fulfill the attack order, the 2 attack orders here. Here, so this musketeer unit cannot move back forward here because then they'd be moving into the Zoc of an enemy combat unit that is not a skirmish unit. All right, here, this one, instead of coming up here, I want to have this one come over here and attack Balcarus in the flank there. They've already fired though. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Easily. All right. There. Now we go to the first player, the Royalist player's combat phase. Defensive fire. So I'll review. I think all the cavalry's fired. I think they fired. So they've all fired. And that's all that's engaged now, so there's no defensive fire. Now we go to offensive fire. So I think all of the Royalist cavalry is now fired. But these infantry and musketeers, I don't know if it matters what order. I don't know if it does matter. Don't know if it matters. Yeah, the musketeers get a +1, not the infantry. So I will shoot the musketeers first. Oh wait, no. The strength doesn't matter for fire combat, right? Doesn't. All right. So they roll a 4. +1 is 5. Musketeers. That's still nothing. So now we can fire both. Ooh, that is okay. So how we do this? I have 2 infantry units here. Right there, they only have 1 target in their front. They got a morale check there. No. Musketeers have a +1 to hit, and they have a range of 2, but they also have less chance of causing casualties. This is actually a 1 loss there. Okay, and then they have a 1. So they both fired 1 at a time, but this is a 1 loss. So we actually have our first loss, and it is the top unit. Oh, Oh. Wow. They just killed that cavalry. Huh. And the leader's going to get killed. A leader stacked with a combat unit or units that are eliminated during melee is killed if... That's funny, it says melee. Huh. I'm going to assume that that is... I'm just going to follow the rules here, even though it says melee. A leader stacked with a combat unit or units that are eliminated during melee is killed if no friendly units remain in the hex. That's true. The leader is flipped. I do believe he's going to keep the same order. That's the replacement leader there. And he is going... And that should be drastic difference, right? So he goes from a command value of 3 and a command span of 4 and a combat value plus 1 to no combat bonus at all. A span 1 less to 3 and a combat or command value drops from 3 to 1. That should be significant. That's going to be much less reliable formation as a whole. Let's move to the nearest friendly combat unit under the leader's command. So the replacement leader is going to come right over here. Wow. Alright. Didn't realize that would be that easy. Oh. You know what? I'm not going to assume that that's a mistake. I'm not going to assume that's a mistake. I'm going to start over. Yeah, the movement phase... Well, no, they're going to be meleeed. Can you melee a lone leader? How did I get all these? Alright, playing rules as written as much as I can. And under the assumption that all of this is happening at the same time, I'm actually going to leave the leader there. And these guys are not going to be able to melee this individual leader, and so in the next turn he'll basically move away. Yeah, and that's because it was fire combat. That's interesting. Anyways, I don't want to think too much about it. Fire, yeah, we have the infantry there. So the 2 infantry units on Balkaris there. 3 is nothing, and 1 is nothing. So, really lucky shot there. Okay, so that was offensive fire. Now we go to melees. Melees. So, yeah. Well, it really shows how you need to mass, but he needs to watch, he needs to cover. No, they are, well, wait a minute, it's not going to make any difference if it's 1 or 2 strengths. If it's, because these are 2 1 strength cavalry units, so even if they come together, melee together, it's still the same column, so it's not going to make any difference. So might as well try separately. This one of course has the benefit of the leader. They're both going to benefit now from the attack order. In case there's any question, skirmishers here cannot initiate melee. Over here, it's going to be these 2 against Balkaris there, and this stack against here. So identified them all. Come back here, 1 to 1. Morale checks first. The attacker first. He has 8. He is in. Hackett's cavalry there. They're in. Oops. There. So both sides are in. Now, Boyne's cavalry, it rolled a 5 +1 for the attack order. Cavalry with an attack command when attacking has a +1. I think that's it. So that's a total of 6. That is a morale check. So Hackett will do a morale check. Hackett here will do a morale check, but they're going to battle back. 2 that is nothing. So that now their morale check, and they make it 7. So again, inconclusive there. Now we move on to the next one. A Boyne. Now it's going to be +1 for the leader, +1 for the attack command. But first they do have to roll their. They do have to do their morale check. They do subtract 1. Yeah, they roll 7 -1 is 6. That is just fine, I'm sure, because they're probably an 8 morale cavalry. Yeah, they are. So they're in. Hackett B there. They're in. And now a Boyne +2. Ooh, 6 +1 for Boyne, +1 for the cavalry with attack command when attacking, for a total of 8. And Hackett B coming back. I guess their attack. Oh no, they're defending. Never mind. It's only when you're attacking. Okay. So 4 on the 1 to 3 columns, nothing, but 8. And there it is, right there. So they rolled 6. They have +1 for the cavalry attack with attack command while attacking, +1 for a Boyne's leadership value in melee, for a total of 8, and that is a 1. So 1 to 3 column, and they do take them out. So wow. So suddenly there's a lot more action. It's rising now. I think they have to. I do believe they have to advance. But then they can do a facing change. Is that spelled out? I believe it is. Yeah, both of those are true. So they can change facing, and they must. All the units from 1 hex that attacked must advance. Okay. Like I said, they're not going to melee the lone leader, because I don't think it's allowed. Over here, this is going to be... actually, I'm going to resolve both of these attacks and come back with the results. Yeah, so there's suddenly a lot going on. These guys routed. They routed over here. One of the infantry units did not pass its morale check, so only one of the infantry units and the cavalry attacked. I forgot to... Okay, so they didn't get anything in response. The defending Balcarres cavalry rolled 2. They're not going to get anything with a 2. But the Royalist attackers rolled a 5, +1 for their cavalry in attack command while attacking, and +1 for infantry with attack command when attacking. I think that's well, that looks to me to be basically a combined arms effect, but it's +1, and it's +1 again for attacking into the flank or rear of a defender. Yep, so that's +3, 5 plus 3 is 8 on the 4 to 6 column is a 1. So lots going on. Well, I was completely wrong about Montrose's. So that eliminates Balcarres's cavalry there. So Balcarres is also left alone there, I guess. Wait, no, this is melee. No, this is melee, right? So all the units in 1 hex must advance. I would think to advance with the cavalry. So I guess this guy, advance command. So this is a replacement leader, which comes over here. Okay, I think that's what that is. That's all the melees. We go on to the rally or recovery. Recovery phase, rally phase, recovery phase. It's called both things. The Royalists don't have it. Boy, that just broke everything. Flanks are all over the place. We got 3 dead units on the Covenanter side. So after rally attempts, the second player checks to see if he rolls for victory. The Covenanter second player hasn't achieved really anything against the Royalist, so there is no rolling for victory. And that ends the first player's movement, combat, and rally phases.